Good evening and welcome to the long-awaited return of the Crimson News Network. I don't know why you're here. I genuinely don't. Why are you here? Okay. So, tonight we're kind of going over a bunch of a collection of stupid things, as well as a few articles about Japan's new very interesting prime minister. That's a thing. And some other random assorted news that we will get to. But the bulk of this show is really just going to be focused on the fact that there are a bunch of new stuff. There's a bunch of trailers and stuff that I haven't checked out for a couple of weeks here because we had Fictionology. Then I skipped a week because I didn't have anything I really wanted to talk about. And this week's kind of similar, but there's enough small piddly stuff to maybe make a show out of. So I decided to do it anyway. And I know that some of you just absolutely miss my voice and you need me. Trying to make sure. There we go. Oop. No. Something like. There we go. That's a little better. So, how is chat doing? I see we have Jeremy Turner here with the $5. I really appreciate that. And he says, hey man, gonna be lurking with an earbud in tonight. Opening night for the Caps. And watching with the boy. Have a great stream. Well, I appreciate that you're willing to listen along. And of course, we have Biggles Met saying, I am here until we start recording Goblin Slayer Tabletop. And Marcel, of course. Marcel shows up for everything. I appreciate you. We do. Your voice is what floats our boats. Oh God, if you're actually looking forward to my voice, you have some pretty interesting problems going on there for you. Anyway, so how about we get into it tonight? I mean, it's been a little while, but nothing really major has happened that really needs to be discussed, and part of that is my fault for covering one of those big subjects in a video. If I hadn't done that video on Light Novel Historian, he would have been a CNN topic. Which technically I could still make him a CNN topic, but I'm done giving that retard any more attention than he needs. So let us share this and then bring this up. So here we are starting out the night. So this is the trailer for a new manga artist girl youth drama TV anime, Kore Kaite Shine. So this will be airing in 2026 by Shine Animation. And it is, about a high school girl living on a small island who aims to become a professional mangaka. Kind of similar to one of the anime we've got going on right now, but let's see how this one differentiates itself from that. I mean, just the setting in and of itself looks good. I like the art style. This one, does this one particularly so far intrigue me, get me excited? No, but I feel like this is one of those ones that I'll end up picking up whenever it airs and being like, yeah, it's all right. I find it entertaining enough to watch. So it has a little mascot character here. Is it going to be something a little bit supernatural, or is this just part of her imagination? Excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah, it does look pretty cute, but when the English title is Draw This, Then Die, you're kidding. Okay, this I need to know more. I need to know more. Draw This, Then Die. Oh boy. Okay, what is this? What is this fuckery? Okay, it doesn't look like it's given us a month. It just says 2026. Okay. Yes, whatever. So, I mean, it looks like we could get something decently interesting out of it. Like, there might be more plot to it than just a girl wants to draw a manga. It might be one of those things where, like, she's being pressured to draw it, and that little like thing in her imagination or whatever might be like holding the gun to her head. I'm just speculating here. I don't actually know what the hell is going on with this series, but when you come at it with the title of Draw This Then Die, another butchered translation like ugly girl with suddenly fragrant flowers or whatever. April showers bring May flowers. Who knows? Um because the title it looks pretty accurate. Kore kaite shine. I mean kore is this. Kaite that's a verb form, and shine would be die. So I'm pretty sure that's a very accurate translation. That being said, though, there is more. So if you all remember, not too long ago, I talked a little bit about a upcoming anime that was about a dude teaming up with a like femboy marriage scammer to make sure that his lesbian sister didn't have to marry a dude. It was called Marriage Toxin. Well, there's a trailer out for it now. And I don't know, let's just look at this. お前はこれから全身を細かく切り刻まれるような We okay? Hold on. Oh, I guess it's just this end. It's just this end. Okay, cool. Sorry, internet troubles lately. Even outside of stream, so I need to be doubly sure. And one thing froze up, so sounds gay. It may be just a little, just a little. 激痛に苛まれる毒使いのやり方特等席で見せてやるキロ君って Like I like some of like the design for it and everything. マジでめちゃくちゃ腕が立つわけ生まれてきたことを後悔しろあんたらはクズ人間だ代わりに俺の結婚を手伝ってくれそんなプロポーズ初めて Like if I remember the plot correctly, Blondie here is actually a dude, and the two of them are working together to on this whole thing. It sounds ridiculous. 2026, obviously, so this will be coming out next season, and that's all we really get of it. So that is their official announcement. So battle action rom-com about a hitman using the help of a cross-dressing marriage swindler. Okay, yeah, there you go. Cross-dressing marriage swindler to find himself a wife and save his sister from their assassin family clan. So I don't know. Maybe it actually is I guess it doesn't really say what gender the person is. Like, they could be a chick cross dressing as a dude. But weird. It's one of those things where like I just can't look away. It's one of those things where like the whole thing is just so ridiculous that I can't help but like keep checking in on it because I need to know like where is this ridiculous thing that was going on how many months ago? Like what stage is that at? But that being said, there are more to get to, including one from the creator of Violet Evergarden. So, Kana Akatsuki's new TV anime, Agents of the Fourth Season, has a trailer. It's gay. Crimson, I can't look away. I have not seen Mechanical Mary yet, no. I said it's ridiculous. If it was just gay, if it was just a gay rom-com or something like that, I wouldn't bother with it. But the fact is that like the entire premise is just so utterly absurd that I can't help but be like, I need to at least see what's going on here before I fully cement my I'm not gonna watch it kind of judgment. But back to what we're talking about here. So, Violet Evergarden, Agents of the Four Seasons, the new trailer. It is by Studio Wit. Mystical fantasy set in a world where special humans receive divine powers to control the four seasons on Earth. Interesting. I mean, it looks pretty. Bad I can't read Japanese. I don't know how I feel about the character. Like the character design is not bad, but I don't know if I feel like this trailer is giving me a lot to work with. I mean, with studio animation is obviously going to look good. So just like stuff like this, I always appreciate. Lolly Hunter. Oh. Okay, it's just going to repeat the same thing over and over and over again. So, I mean, again, not a whole lot to work with that one. It kind of gives us the premise or the idea, but it's a decent enough announcement that you could probably, get away with it. It just a lot of these are really just sort of like, like this is what it's going to look like. This is what you can kind of look forward to. We'll tell you more about it at a later date kind of thing. But I think that is like the last trailer I had um to talk about. So instead we are going to continue forward with some other announcements. So this is an anime that is going to be coming out in winter and we have some, previews and stuff here. So Kaya-chan Isn't Scary, new visual trailer. So this is January 2026 by East Fish Studio. It is a sober natural mystery. Don't know what that's supposed to mean, but okay. Manga by Tauru Yuki about a little girl who is famous for causing trouble in a kindergarten. But there's an occult reason behind her attitude. She's a psychic who fights ghosts to protect her classmates. It means watching it sober is a mystery. Yeah, so basically you have this little girl from what I understand, who's going to be fighting ghosts and shit. So you have your cute little mascot character who it kind of feels like Dark Gathering, um, but like in like both a younger character. Like it just seems, I don't know. We're gonna see how it goes in January because I'm kind of interested in this one from the little bits that I've seen of it. But I feel like this one could just end up falling into the shadow of something like Dark Gathering. That brings us to the next one. We also have another announcement. Oop, I had to share this tab before I brought that up. There we go. So, Gyaru Romcom Gals Can't Be Kind to Otaku anime adaptation officially announced. And this is another 2026 anime. A lot of these at this point are going to be 2026 announcements. Rom-com about an otaku who hides that he likes his niche shoujo anime. But when he notices something particular about one of the pretty gyarus in his class, it's the start of a gradually deepening relationship between otaku and gals, based on the manga by Norishiro-chan and Uozumi Sakana. We don't get enough mystery / horror anime to skip just because it reminds of a prior one. Hmm. Yeah, maybe. I mean, the thing is like I don't know how I'm gonna feel about the whole premise of it. But when it comes to this, like I don't know, I guess I'm a sucker for like romance anime because I tend to watch a lot of stuff like this, even if it's not particularly like um uh I believe I read a doujinshi with that Gyaru plot. There's probably one out there. But here are the big ones that we're looking at as far as announcements go. So this is the one that I think is probably going to be the most notable, even if I'm not a huge fan of Kindergarten Wars myself. But there is officially an anime adaptation coming. So, action comedy about a kindergarten for important children of the world's most important leaders. Of course, these VIP kids are getting targeted by assassins. But luckily, their caretakers are dangerous ex hitmen too. So it's kind of like, I don't know, it's in the same vein as like Spy Family, Mission Yozakura, Fam, Sakamoto Days. Kindergarten Wars is kind of in that like same vein. I read, I think, the first volume of this, and much like Sakamoto Days, didn't particularly find it interesting. I believe this red haired chick here, who is on the cover of #1, it's not showing for some reason. Whatever. Like her whole motivation is like she's just trying to find someone to go out with. Like she just wants to get married. Either way, I won't deny that there's probably like the potential to have your like cute like kids in the cast and all that, and like oh wow, kawaii kind of stuff. But it's just not a plot that I find myself super interested in. Also, hello to JM the Elite fan. Hail Crimson finished Ruri Rocks the other day. Nagi is waifu of the year. Yeah, for me, absolutely. The bigger one, though, Crimson Kawaii. 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 The bigger one, though, is the one that pisses Biggles off the most. Witch Watch Season 2 has officially been announced as of Shonen Jump issue number 45. So there will be more details. But I feel like I don't know why, but there's something about her. Just milk emojis. I respect it. There's so much about her that is great. Anyway, Abomination. Yeah, so Witch Watch is getting a season 2. And I don't know if I will continue watching it, to be entirely honest. Like, there are parts of it that I find entertaining, but it's not one of those shows where I'm like, oh crap, there's another season of this. I gotta see it. Ugh. Excuse me. Let me juice on caffeine here a little bit. It's the last little bit I got. Okay. It's water from here on out, boys. Anyway. If you watch it, just edit me all the Nemu parts. I don't need anything else. Yeah, when it comes to Witch Watch, I feel like it's just again falls into that category of things I'm not particularly like excited for more of. I got my fill of this show. It wasn't something that was like, oh wow, this is fantastic. Oh wow, this is amazing. I need more of this. It's just like, by the way, yesterday started the manga of Mikadono Sisters. There is enough material for 2 more seasons. See, that's something that I would look forward to another season of. The Mikadono Sisters, I actually really enjoyed that. I feel like it deserves a second season more than Witch Watch. But hey, that's just my opinion. So yeah, it's like I feel like you have too many characters and don't really like do enough with it's complicated, man. I have a video out there on this for a reason. It's just it wasn't as good as I had hoped it would be. I enjoyed it, but it was not by any means like the most amazing thing that I had ever seen. A bunch of dog shit. Man, you're really brutal on that one, Biggles. You're really brutal on that one. Well, this one is not so anime related, but it is kind of in the same realm because it is about animation. I gotta do the pretentious. The slide the glasses up. There's the well, actually. So, to any of you who are out there who are somewhat, just interested in animation in general, you probably know the name Genndy Tartakovsky, creator of Powerpuff Girls, Samurai Jack, Primal. Those are some of the big notches under his belt. Fixed was not very well received. Some of his other projects weren't that great. He's involved minorly in a bunch of other things, I believe, including writing a few episodes of Batman the Animated Series, but he put out a piece of test footage recently for a project that he's trying to get Sony to greenlight. And this is his test footage of the Black Knight. And it is about a knight who controls a 20-foot tall suit of armor in the 14th century using ropes and pulleys. So it is a 14th century mecha animation. This is like right off the bat, that sounds fantastic. And Sony is completely unsure if there is an audience for this. So let me just show you what we're looking at as far as the Black Knight goes. In the way like its animation and like character designs are done. And it's weird to see him do 3D stuff as well, because I'm so used to him doing 2D stuff. Clone Wars. I forgot he also did the 03 Clone Wars. But like this action style and like just the framing of it all, that's a very like reminiscent of his style. And now to me, this seems like one of the best ideas like anyone in like the West, like in Western entertainment has had in a very, very long time. And yet, Sony, for some reason, doesn't seem to want to trust Tartakovsky with making something because they don't feel like what he's making is going to have an audience, even though this is one of the most successful cartoonists you can find. Like a guy whose track record has gone on for decades and he has had multiple very successful series under his name. If anyone should be trusted, it would be Tartakovsky. And yet, here we are. Pretending like, oh, well, there might not be an audience for this project you're making. And it's literally the coolest thing ever. It looks pretty good, but I'm afraid the Max will get cut up by everyone with a dagger. Hey, man. You don't got to think about it too much. Just the idea of it sounds like it could be a really fun fucking movie. So if they made an entire animated film about that premise, I would 100% be down for it. I would 100% be there to watch it. But that said, we are going to talk a little bit more about some serious subjects now, like the idea that some companies are getting sick of payment processors and credit card companies running roughshod over entire Japanese industry. So they've decided to make their own payment processors or payment methods. So DL Site offers a new payment method as an alternative to credit cards. DL Site begins offering a new payment method, Minna no Ginko, which to roughly Minna no Ginko payment, which roughly translates to everyone's bank payment, or the bank of everyone. As an alternative to credit cards, this instant payment service is directly linked to bank accounts and can be used by connecting a Minna no Ginko digital bank account, which operates entirely via smartphone with a Vivian ID. A special campaign to celebrate the service launch is also currently underway. And here they have their official announcement and everything. So, yeah, it looks like a lot of these companies may just be opting for like cutting the payment processors out altogether, which would be wild. It would also be great to see a lot of these companies just like just say fuck it, we don't need you, and stick it to a lot of these clearinghouses that have been manipulated into, not serving certain customer bases on premises that they don't even care to enforce on other sites. It bypasses payment processors entirely. I know there's another one, but okay. Good news for a change, I see. So it looks like this attempt to try and like lock out entire industries because they don't have the infrastructure may be coming to an end because it looks like the infrastructure has been developed. So hopefully we'll see fewer and fewer sites shut down, kind of the same way. That's a good transition into this. That Manga Planet is shutting down its digital platform. So, Manga Planet announced on Wednesday that it is closing its digital service on March 31st, 2026, due to various circumstances like recent restrictions from payment processors and the changing online landscape. Manga Planet will shift focus to its print release through its label and Futekiya imprints. Starting on October 31st, Manga Planet will no longer offer points or 3, 6, 12-month passes for purchase. Then on February 28th, sales of 1 week and 1 month passes will halt until the digital platform's closure. Customers can use points for purchases and read content until their passes expire. Support for past refunds will end in late April 2026. However, there will be no refunds on points or content. Basically, this is another victim of clearinghouses and payment processors who just who want to, pearl clutch over anime content, but are completely fine with processing the exact same kind of material for OnlyFans or for porn sites or literally any other um, industry. Like they don't care, they're just pretending to care. And it's groups like Collective Shout that are pushing that sort of pressure. The company recently revealed print releases for several manga, including Here and There and Us, The Farthest Love in the World, Koboku, Perfect Posure, and Try and I Love You. Manga Planet had announced in January that payment method provider Stripe would no longer make payments on Manga Planet due to R18 content on the subscription service. Yet, I'm sure Stripe allows OnlyFans and porn content. Manga Planet's account with Stripe was suspended and banned. The company has also stated that pass holders would not get their pass renewed. Users affected by the Stripe ban would have access to their pass until the expiration date. They are pretty monopolistic as far as this goes. There are some real issues there with how much control they have. Manga Planet and Futekiya Manga services combine their libraries into a single service under. Okay, this is all just like supplementary information. It just kind of like talks a little bit about it, but this has been an ongoing issue, and just the idea of like making other payment processors has been kicked around a bunch. A lot of people were like petitioning Elon Musk to do something similar, because he bought Twitter specifically to preserve free speech. That was his motivation behind it. At least outwardly, that's what his motivation was behind it. So a lot of people immediately went to like, hey, Elon Musk, you should make another payment processor to get around these people. Because I mean, they're not really applying their rules very well, or very fairly, I should say. They pearl clutch over the idea of having 18 plus content because it's harmful to women or whatever. But it's perfectly okay to use their clearinghouses to purchase from OnlyFans or to pay for subscriptions for Pornhub or any other service like that. And it's even more susceptible because, I mean, well, OnlyFans has multiple accusations of child sex trafficking. And with the porn industry in general, you do run, like, there are known issues with human trafficking in that. Not that I'm going to say that it is most of the industry or that, like, everyone involved in it is involved in some kind of human trafficking, but it does happen. It's not an unheard of thing. But these payment processors want to clutch pearl over anime in Dojin that they don't like because they don't control it, basically. It is not the approved kind of degeneracy. It is one area that has not been conquered by bullshit. So, of course, it has to be acquired. All right. It's some ridiculousness, man. It is fucking stupid the way all this works. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about some positive news here. So let's talk about one of my favorite newer manga that's been out that you can read for free, Ruri Dragon. So in a recent interview, it was revealed that Masaoki Shindo, mangaka of Ruri Dragon, was formerly an assistant of Eiichiro Oda in One Piece. This information has been revealed in the latest One Piece magazine issue, number 20, also featuring Takamasa Moe, Akane Banashi, and Shochi Usui. So I believe someone posted in here a list of like creators. I don't know if all of these were former assistants of Eiichiro Oda, but like it's very interesting to see like who like the inspiration that some people like assistants get from the people that they work under. There's a no wonder there's so many breaks for it. Learn from the best. As far as Ruri Dragon goes, yes, it did have a very long hiatus. So it released 6 chapters and was incredibly popular, had a massive readership that was even comparable to some of the most read manga the site was running at the time. And that, I believe, included Jujutsu Kaisen. Yeah, the first 6 chapters of this was comparable to Jujutsu Kaisen's reception. But then it went on like a year and a half hiatus because the author was going through something and then came back. A lot of people were afraid that it would never get finished because it released 6 chapters and then vanished. But it's still going. It's actually on weekly releases right now. And I read the latest chapter not too long ago. It comes out on Sundays US time. It was just interesting to me that Ruri Dragon comes from someone who worked for Eiichiro Oda. It was just a really fun fact that I wanted to share with the rest of the world. A not so fun fact that I'm going to share with the world here is that I know I ain't exactly been like the best to the series, but I feel like this is some of the most unjustified Demon Slayer hate that I will ever see. So here is Marlon Wayans saying fuck anime because Demon Slayer beat his movie in The Office.
My first ones was Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Valid.
Can I say it?
Go on.
Man. You dumbass.
Whoa.
We came in number 2
See?
to him first. Anime. Why, bro?
Nah, bro. That's very
Bro,
disrespectful,
I was up
bro.
against it. Him came out the same week, this next weekend after whatever that was.
Oh, the Demon Slayer? Was it Demon Slayer?
Yeah, Demon Slayer.
That's a movie.
That's why-
Demon Slayer, that's a movie, bro. But that's two different worlds, bro. That's
That's why.
comparing.
That's why you can't. Come here. You can't like disrespect anime.
So I posted something about this.
Anyway, he's just basically going through talking about how he showed the receipts for that one. And like, I don't know, man. That seems like ridiculously pretentious to be pissed off at Demon Slayer because it outperformed your movie. And it was just one of those ridiculous clips, just like fuck anime. We came in number 2 because of that. To be fair, you got blown out by Demon Slayer, which it's not really like there's much that competes with a Demon Slayer movie. This isn't the first time that Demon Slayer has set records at the cinema. So I am not surprised that it did as well as it did. Is it my favorite movie? No. Do I still have my critiques and like issues with it being a movie? Yes, but it was still good Demon Slayer content. I still enjoyed it. So this whole thing about like it feels like a normal stream with certain people here. Man, I don't know. I'm not getting into it. Look, I have my issues with Demon Slayer. It is not my favorite, but as far as like its anime adaptation goes, it's done pretty well. And I'm not gonna say that I didn't enjoy going to see the movie. I saw it twice, which is a very unusual thing for me. However, I do feel like some people are a little bit ridiculous with their critiques. Some people have said that the ending was not good. I don't know. I liked the ending of Demon Slayer. I didn't think it was that bad. A lot of people talk about how it was rushed. I didn't see it when I read through it, and then I heard that it was rushed. I'm like, yeah, I guess. It felt like a pretty typical shonen sort of thing. But specifically talking Demon Slayer is something that I feel like needs to wait until it has its own time. But there is never not time to shit on Rent a Girlfriend. So let's talk about that. So here we have Chibi, retweeting a screenshot here of Reiji Miyajima. Just so you know, he's more so referring to weebs and waifus after last week, I believe, last Thursday. He was arguing with a couple of people in chat while Lethal was shitting all over the end of Demon Slayer. Not that I helped. I definitely riled people up in that chat, but I wasn't the one throwing hands. I was only the one raising tensions. Okay, you cannot arrest me for that. Anyway, so breaking news. Reiji Miyajima responds to criticism of his manga in viral tweet where someone is upset it's reached a high volume count similar to Dragon Ball. He states the characters just wouldn't move the way he wanted them to. It now has 42 volumes, and now we know the truth about why it's so slow. Motherfucker, don't go starting fights in my chat. Let's not go starting fights in my chat, Rolando. Oh, fucked my elbow up today. Lifting 6x6s is not nice on the body. Just saying. Anyway. So, like, just reading through this here, I can't help but feel tears welling up at the decline of this country, as the number of volumes of Kanokari has caught up with Dragon Ball. The characters wouldn't move the way I wanted them to, and before I knew it, it had reached this many volumes. Well, I will say that Rent a Girlfriend is the most slow, infuriating, worthless story that I have ever attempted to uh um view, I guess. I don't understand the appeal of watching someone struggle for 400 chapters to get a girl. It just it doesn't appeal to me whatsoever. I don't understand why people think this is the greatest thing ever. I almost feel like it's like people are intentionally glazing this, even though like everyone objectively knows that it sucks. Specifically because it is the kind of train wreck that you just want to see end. Like you just want to know how it goes, and somehow Reiji Miyajima is milking it for all it's fucking worth. This guy right here has got to be one of the biggest trolls in the manga world at the moment. Like, he has to be doing all this on purpose. He has to just be like sitting there snickering to himself, doing all this ridiculous stuff. Like, how much are they going to tolerate? How long can I push it before my readership drops off? It is insane, like genuinely insane to me that this series is as popular as it is. Two, this series has gone on for as long as it has. But hey, I guess that just goes to show that I am I'm out of the loop, I guess. Anyway, that brings us to one of the big subject of the night. The big thing that we all have to talk about, and that is Japanese politics. It wouldn't be a news network without some politics, people. Okay. So Japan has gotten rid of their prime minister. They did not like the guy who was pro World Economic Forum. They didn't like his policy or anything. And they voted him out in favor of a very, very interesting candidate. Departure from anime, but if you ever watch Castle, the romantic tension made that show and dragged on for 6 seasons before they got together. Then they got together and the series got canceled. And that sounds like shit. Frankly, that sounds like agony. But oh well. Back to what I was saying, though. So, the new prime minister is the first female prime minister of Japan. She was a close friend of Shinzo Abe and is apparently far more conservative than he was. How much more conservative? Well, I mean, and this is internet stuff, so I don't know the full veracity of this. Although some things I have seen actually confirmed, but a few things about Sanae Takaichi, the first female prime minister in Japan, based on information I gathered. She is more Japan first than Shinzo Abe. She is against illegal immigration and wants to significantly limit legal immigration to maintain Japanese core culture. It's funny because a lot of people, like, this is one that I have seen confirmed. A lot of people have been making jokes about how the Japanese had to deal with Indian people for like 3 weeks and decided to vote in the most right-wing politician they've ever had. She is anti-feminist, advocating for banning married women from keeping their maiden names. I don't know if I've seen that one confirmed or not. She is a supporter of traditional family structure. She supports tax incentives for having children, as well as tax deductions for daycare and other child services. This one I have seen confirmed. She opposes same sex marriage. Interesting. I don't know if I would agree with that one, but interesting. She wants to ratify the Constitution so that Japan can have a formal military again. Based, I respect that. Just on the principle that a nation should be allowed to defend itself from its enemies, you know? Prompt economic, food, and energy security government spending through a crisis management investment. Pro-inflationary policy at 2% with consistent wage growth to promote spending. Is this a win for Japan? So, for more information, I decided to go look up whatever free article I could find because I'm not subscribing to The Economist fuckers. And this is what I found. We have NBC. Japan's first female governing party leader is an ultra-conservative star in a male-dominated group. So this is the best part. A drummer in a heavy metal band and a motorcycle rider as a student. Sanae Takaichi has called for a stronger military, more fiscal spending for growth, promotion of nuclear fusion, and tougher policies on immigration. It's glorious. It is glorious. Oh, that's the wrong button. There we go. But this was a new one when I found this article. A drummer in a heavy metal band. What are the odds that this woman was performing in a group that did an anime intro? In a country that ranks poorly internationally for gender equality, oh fuck you. Probably a Yakuza bride or in a biker gang. Anyway, the new president of Japan's long governing Liberal Democrats and likely next prime minister is an ultra conservative star of a male dominated party that critics call an obstacle to women's advancement. Sanae Takamichi, 64, admires former British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher and is a proponent of former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's conservative vision for Japan. Takaichi is the first female president of Japan's predominantly male ruling party that has dominated Japan's post-war politics almost without interruption. She hardly touched on gender issues during the campaign, but on Saturday she tried out the party president's chair and posed for a photo as is customary for a newly elected leader. Takaichi said, now that the LDP has its first female president, its scenery will change a little. First elected to Parliament for her hometown of Nara in 1993, she had served in key party and government posts, including Minister of Economic Security, Internal Affairs, and Gender Equality. Female lawmakers in the conservative Liberal Democrat Party who were given limited ministerial posts have often been shunned as soon as they spoke up about diversity and gender equality. Takaichi has stuck with old-fashioned views favored by male party heavyweights. I mean, you can tell the bias on this article just as you read it. Takaichi also admits she is a workaholic who would rather study at home instead of socializing. After unsuccessfully running for party presidency twice in the past, she made efforts to be more sociable to build connections as advised, she said. But on Saturday, she called for an all-out effort to rebuild the party and regain public support. She asked all party lawmakers to work like a horse. And then she added, I will abandon the word work-life balance. I will work, and work. The work-life balance quickly trended on social media, triggering mixed reactions, support for her enthusiasm, and concern about her work ethic. Women comprise about 15% of Japan's lower house, the more powerful of the two parliamentary chambers. Only 2 of Japan's 47 prefectural governors are women. So, a drummer in a heavy metal band and a motorbike rider as a student, Takaichi has called for strong military, more fiscal. Okay, we've read that. She vowed to drastically increase female ministers in her government, but experts say she might actually set back women's advancement because, as leader, she would have to show loyalty to influential male heavyweights. If not, she risks a short-lived leadership. Takaichi has backed financial support for women's health and fertility treatment as part of the LDP policy of having women serve in their traditional roles of being good mothers and wives. But she also recently acknowledged her struggles with menopausal symptoms and stressed the need to educate men about female health to help women at school and work. Takaichi supports the imperial family's male-only succession, opposes same-sex marriage, and a revision to the 19th century civil law that would allow separate surnames for married couples so that women don't get pressured into abandoning theirs. She is a wartime history revisionist and China hawk. She regularly visits Yasukuni Shrine, which Japan's neighbors consider a symbol of militarism, though she has declined to say what she would do as a prime minister. There's a lot of things in here that show they don't like the fact that she is conservative or right wing, I should say. Political watchers say her revisionist view of Japan's wartime history may complicate ties with Beijing and Seoul. Her hawkish stance is also a worry for the LDP's longtime partnership with Komeito, a Buddhist-backed moderate party. While she has said the current coalition is crucial to her party, she says she is open to working with far-right groups. So really, I guess the big thing on that is when it comes to Japanese policy, the big thing that I'm kind of worried about, because it's the one that most affects me, is what is her stance on censorship? Because again, I don't live in the country. I don't know the problems that it's facing, so I can't really get a good grasp on it. But the way the article frames it, they want to talk about it in terms of Western politics and everything. They want to talk about how there isn't enough female representation or anything. Maybe the culture there is just different and women aren't as incentive, or the women just aren't as interested in being in politics. That might just be the case, But again, the big concern to me is what is your stance on censorship? What is your position on the way a lot of things seem to be restricted by outside forces? Because there are parties within Japan that do want more control over media and all that stuff. So it's not like the whole censorship thing isn't an issue for Japan. I can't say how much of an issue it will end up being overall, but it's kind of interesting to see that you go from a guy who was fairly pro censorship, who was fairly pro globalization, to a dramatic swing to fairly right-wing women. And it just sort of turns into one of those weird things where a drummer and a biker, obviously when she was younger, led an interesting life. Wasn't a boring person, I guess I'll say. And the people concerned about representation don't want her. They want a far left feminist, and yeah, pretty much. So with that said, I think I'm kind of going to call it there. just like the basic things, trying to get back into the swing of doing stuff like Crimson News Network and all that, and just having some fun with it. Because I still have a project I need to complete for tonight, and some other things I do want to do. I don't want to be, around too late. Hope they may eventually go the other route and censor less in hentai and stuff, but probably won't happen with either. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it being like this big thing. I feel like a lot of people are like looking at this like a little too hard. I don't know if the censorship issue is going to get any better, particularly because it's largely driven by Western forces. It is largely driven by like Western companies, like payment processors, or like Crunchyroll, or like localization groups that do all of that stuff after it's already been made. That's why I don't feel like there's going to be really any sort of like good stuff going on with the censorship issue. Oh, there is one other thing that I do want to mention. I forgot to mention it when we were talking about Demon Slayer earlier. It is hilarious to me that Demon Slayer bodies literally every movie that the US was showing at the time. It beats out Superman, and then Trump is immediately like, we're putting 100% tariff on all entertainment imports. So all foreign entertainment, 100% tariff. If it all goes wrong, I'll just go to Japan and yellow face and blend into society. Oh God. Stop. Stop. Anyway, I'm calling it here for the night. I'm not going to cover anything else. There were a couple of random things, but I don't feel like wasting the energy on that kind of stupidity. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to call it here. And don't forget, guys, the poll for what I'm going to be watching next week is still live. And right now, oh, that's bull, Crimson. He was wanting to do that for a while. Yeah, sure, but it's funny for me to think that that Trump was doing it specifically in response to Demon Slayer. Anyway, the poll for what I watch next week is still live. Right now, Akiba Made War is at 59%. Anyone can go and anyone can go vote on the poll. There is no restriction on that. So with that said, I'm going to go back to work on my Kaiju number 8 video. And hopefully I will see you guys soon. Saturday, I will be doing I will be doing animated as usual. And we'll be talking about that. I will be doing some, like specific reviews over series. I'm going to be talking about the Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic. That's the name. And I'm also, since I finished the manga, just knocked over a cup. Luckily, there was nothing in it. Since I finished the manga, I am going to be talking about interviews with monster girls. So if that's your thing, I'm going to be talking about both of those in detail. Hopefully I have some other manga to mention in that. And then, of course, doing the usual recap for that kind of stuff. And who knows, if this like review segment of letting people vote on the things that I watch and all this stuff goes well, maybe I'll continue doing it throughout the rest of the history of this channel. Either way, thank you all for tuning in and having fun and listening to everything. This wasn't really like my most professional presentation in all of this, but I was kind of going on the fly. Either way, I hope you all have a great time. I will see you probably sometime soon. And I hope you will, check out the next video and, like, subscribe, comment, all that kind of stuff. Most of you guys here, I'm pretty sure all you guys here are subscribers. So I appreciate the audience either way. That said, let's end this. I need to get this thing off my head.